Good morning. I do love this intro.
I do too. I think it's one of my favorites on the station.
It just makes me smile. Hey, good morning. It is. It is the Chris Hand Show. However, Chris Hand he's somewhere off in the hinterlands of America, enjoying a little Americana. I understand he went to a ball game last night.
Yeah. Just on a good little trip with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a good time.
He's going to West Virginia, one of the most beautiful states.
Absolutely.
In our big country. And so I hope he has a good time. And I appreciate getting to talk to you guys this morning on the Chris Hand Show. I got to take care of some personal business firsthand before we get into all the news of the day, which is, what is the news of the day? Joe doesn't know where he's at. And the Democrats have finally figured it out. That's a whole soap opera in itself.
It took him long enough.
Yeah, it sure did. We've been sitting there talking about it for several years now. Now the Democrats have, my gosh, Joe can't remember anything. Panic mode. But anyway, we'll get into more of that. Yesterday, I don't like doing this crap, but I've got to acknowledge it. Yesterday, a lot of you folks wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate that.
Yeah, big old what? 3-0?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Gosh. If I were in the corner office, you'd be getting a raise. But I'm not good at social media compared to a lot of the folks that work in radio with me. I stink at it. So if you wish me happy birthday on there, thank you. It means a lot, trust me.
Brother Johnny B., you're not glued to your phone, man. You're glued to life.
I'm glued to life, baby.
Yes, sir.
And all I did yesterday was watch movies, eat chocolate pie.
Yeah.
And that was it.
How much chocolate pie did you have?
Oh, my God.
Like, did you eat an entire pie by yourself, man?
I came close.
Yeah.
I came very close. I came this close.
Did it have crust and everything?
It had crust. It had cream filling.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
And good old chocolate.
Yes,
using your finger to wipe out the pie tray.
Oh, yeah.
That last little bit.
That's way to go, Brother Johnny B., man.
Well, that's the way to go, Glenna B.
Yeah.
She knows what will keep me quiet. Here, eat this pie.
It's in the corner. Eat this. Okay.
But that's how I enjoyed my birthday. That's all I wanted to do. And it was really weird because I'm sitting there at the end of the day going, well, that sure is weird. I haven't heard my phone all day. And happened to look at my phone and went, oh, it's dead. So if you were one of the many people trying to get a hold of me yesterday, I'm really sorry. I didn't even think about my phone till later on.
Man.
Honestly, that's a great place to be. On your birthday, on 4th of July, that's a good place to be.
It is.
Ignoring your phone.
It is. I loved it.
You were just living, dude.
So I was living. So I appreciate all the birthday greetings because that kind of stuff it touches the old heart. I appreciate it. But I'm just sorry I'm not very good at it. And while we're talking about social media, now that we've talked about this, let's bring this up because I want to chastise some of you on social media. I see some of you on there.
Uh-oh.
And you start accusing other people of having huge egos, of basically just being all about themselves. And yet you're on Facebook. And you're showing, like in one such post, one young lady that I know was a model at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Started giving people hell on Facebook about, being all about themselves and being all into themselves. And I noticed she was putting up some of her old modeling pictures. And I thought, I mean, I hate to admit it to you folks, but if you've got to get into any kind of job that you've got to get attention for, then yeah, you're going to be a little on the conceited side. You've got to be.
Yeah.
You got to be.
Yeah. You got to show yourself.
You got to show yourself.
Got to let people look at you.
That's right. That's right. So I totally get it, but I think if you're on social media and you're taking nonstop selfies, then that's the pot calling the kettle black. But that's just me. That's just me. I just had to get that out of the way because I saw that over our short time off the short time I was on social media, I saw somebody say that, and I thought, well, come on. That is the pot calling the kettle black. Also, some personal news as well. Earlier this week, didn't really get to comment much on it on the radio. In fact, not at all. And I wanted to take this opportunity to do this. But I really wanted to send out a lot of prayer and a lot of heartfelt hugs and love to the Oak Ridge Boys and to the Golden family, William Lee Golden. William Lee earlier this week, and those that have lived in Nashville for a long time know the Golden family. They've been a big fixture in this town for a long time. Rusty Golden, William Lee Golden's oldest son, passed away this week at 65, way too young, on Monday. And I just wanted to stress that our hearts and our prayers go out to William Lee, the Oak Ridge Boys family, their friends, their fans, and they have very many of them. But the Golden's just not just the nicest family you'll ever meet. And in fact, when I first came to town, one of the first club gigs I ever did, I shared a club gig with the Goldens, and they had already set up their equipment. And so we were kind of concerned about where to put ours. And the Goldens were nice enough. They just said, use ours.
Cool, man.
And most musicians don't do that. So they've always held a special place in my heart. They're good people. And if you ever get a chance to see the Goldens, and I hope they keep that music group up, I would suggest you go see them because they do a fantastic job. They do country, they do rock, they do gospel. And it is just a phenomenal show. So if you ever get a chance to see it, but man, I just, that's a big loss for them, losing Rusty, because Rusty was quite the entertainer. And I wanted to make sure we said something nice about him and got that out of the way today. So I appreciate it. Hope you guys had a good 4th.
Oh, yeah. Had a real good one.
What'd you guys do?
I was at a pool, brother Johnny B.
Yo!
Got sunburned, man.
You had to have the shirt off.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I definitely had the shirt off. I was running around, swimming, having fun, and then this was the first 4th of July that Jennifer and I didn't have our kids with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now I was visiting with my daughter, but at home it was just us. We'd bought all this food. For some reason, we just didn't realize that it was just going to be us. So we ate some hamburgers, some corn on the cob, some special potato salad and pork and beans. Ooh. And we'll probably be doing that until Sunday.
I was going to say, you brought all the leftovers here, right?
Leftovers.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, Brother Mason?
I spent the majority of my morning right here.
Did you really?
Seat. Yep.
You were right here.
Worked here all morning, and then I left here, had like about an hour off to go do some like chores and whatnot I needed to take care of, and then went right back to work at the hotel.
Wow.
I was there till midnight last night, so it was a fun little long evening.
That was your 4th of July.
Yeah. I got to see the Nashville fireworks, though, which was kind of cool. I could see them over the buildings a little bit from where I was working, which was fun.
Well, that's the best way to do it, actually.
Yeah, not in the middle of a crowd on Broadway, for sure.
Oh, exactly.
I heard everybody was shoulder to shoulder, basically, in the street, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm glad I'm not down there. That does not sound fun.
I did that once. I did go see the fireworks one year, and I swore I'd never do it again because of the crowd.
And you never have.
So no, I haven't. I just can't. I'm not a big crowd lover.
No, sir.
Now, did you guys notice that it costs a little more to cook out this year?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. They said that as we all gathered yesterday to enjoy our Independence Day meals, the prices of common items are higher than in years past. Wow.
Seems like a common theme for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, they're writing this like it's news.
Yeah,
it's been going on for the past 3.5 years.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that's a holiday discount. I think that's a holiday price gouge.
Exactly. According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, they say the grocery bill for an average cookout is up 5% from 2023. Gosh, I thought it'd be higher than that.
Yeah.
Almost
feels like it.
30% from 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
But it's working. Bidenomics is working, boys.
That's why we're making America build back better. That's what we're doing. Do you know how hard it is to come and talk to you guys about this every day? It is. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because I'm just as angry as you are.
Yeah.
The 2024 American Farm Bureau Federation Annual Market Basket Survey found that the annual cookout, consisting of items like hamburgers, cookies, ice cream, chicken, and other items like chocolate pie,
Yes, sir.
will cost $71.22 for 10 guests.
For 10 guests?
For 10 guests.
Heck, that's for Jennifer and me.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That sounds low for 10 guests.
Yeah, George Stephanopoulos must have written that.
He must have. Because usually that sounds like me and Glenna.
Yeah.
They said this cost is a record high since the American Farm Bureau Federation began the survey in 2013. They said driving up the cost of the cookout total is beef. Because frankly, too, the left is trying to get rid of beef. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they want to get rid of that. They want to get rid of that mooing cow. They say he's destroying the planet. Mm-hmm. His poots.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they say beef is the big one that's driving up. They say it's up 11% for 2 pounds of ground beef. It's up $12.77 from 2023. They also say lemonade, which I hate lemonade. I don't understand how you guys like it.
Even the pink kind?
Don't like it. It's up 12% from 2023 to $4.19. The only exceptions to the price increases, gentlemen, were chicken, which is down 4%, and potato salad, which is down 4% as well.
Well,
See, but if it's store-bought potato salad, there's a reason nobody's buying it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, like I said, this is a news story, but I kind of looked at it and thought, this has been going on for a year and a half. This is not new.
no.
And we knew ahead of time that our 4th of July was going to be a little on the light side.
Yeah.
This is Biden's America. How you digging it? How you like it? Goomba. Pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Goomba.
Good Lord. Joe Biden. If any of you are thinking about voting for this guy again, and I know you're a small number, but man, take the receiver from your phone and hit yourself about 10 times.
He's going to be in Wisconsin today, brother Johnny B.
I know he's going to be up there. I'm doing great. It's great to be up here in West Virginia again.
Where are you? Where is everybody?
Well, I doubt they'll be coming to see you. It's 9:19. It is the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris. Stay with us next hour because coming up next hour, Meta. You know, the company that owns Facebook, WhatsApp, and what's the other one? Instagram. Well, they are facing a proposed class action lawsuit. Somebody's alleging that the company favors hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers. Get out of town. That wouldn't happen in America, would it? We've got Eric Ruark. He is the Director of Research and Public Relations over at Numbers USA. He also used to work at FAIR, the immigration company. So he knows a lot about what's going on. We're going to question him about this lawsuit against Meta and how they're using undocumented migrants over American workers. Once again, nothing new here. It's just happening more and more. It's 9:20. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Johnny B sitting in for Chris Hand on vacation. Keep it right where you got it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
it's Chris Hand for my friends at Paul Winkler Inc. and Paul Winkler Investments. Listen, if you're looking to secure your financial future, but it's not something that you need to do alone, I was trying to do it on my own, and I didn't really know where to start. When I moved to Nashville with my wife, we found this radio show that we were listening to. It runs every Saturday here on Super Talk, and I would listen to that show, and I would learn something. But when I got my show here, it was just like, I need to work with Paul. I trust him already. I want to learn more, and I've learned so much more working with Paul. I can finally relax about my money. When you have 4 kids and you're planning out retirement, maybe college, hopefully weddings, it's like you want to have that peace of mind. Well, that's what I get with Paul and his team at Paul Winkler Inc. They hold themselves to the highest level of fiduciary status, and because of that, Paul wants to make sure I tell you that I get paid when I do these commercials. He wants the honesty, but I'll tell you, I don't get paid to be a client. I'm a client because of things that Paul's team does. Paul's team does nothing on commission. Paul's team really focuses on education. They want to educate you every step of the way so you never get that uneasy feeling of blind trust. Talk to Paul. Even if you already have a financial planner in your life, talk to Paul and see if he has a better idea for what you can do. And it starts by setting up a 15-minute phone call today. Just go to paulwinkler.com. It's that simple, paulwinkler.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Covenant school shooters writings update coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Welcome back to the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B in with you. It's 9:23, Friday morning. It's good to be with you. We got a lot to cover today. Of course, as I said, we've got Eric Rourke. He is the Director of Research and Public Relations at Numbers USA. Also used to be with FAIR, the folks that gave a watch on illegal immigration. Well, they've got a class action lawsuit against Meta. That's the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And we're going to get into that. And it's unbelievable. They're hiring more illegal immigrants than they are American workers. And of course, that's no surprise to us. We've been witnessing this for some time. A lot to get into, and of course, everybody. I don't care where you're listening or what you're reading, but it's either Joe Biden's got to get out of the White House or Joe Biden, you got to stay in, one of the two. But Miranda Lambert, I don't know if you guys heard about her.
Oh yeah,
I kind of dig Miranda.
I love her music.
I love her music too, and I like this. But apparently she was doing a show in Midland, Texas over the weekend, and there were 2 fans that started scrapping during a performance of her ballad Tin Man. Now, I've never gotten in a fight during a ballad. That's a new one on me.
Yeah.
And anyway, in a TikTok of the incident, Lambert is seen performing the song solo with just the guitar. When she stops to ask if everyone's okay, she thought a fan had passed out. And then she goes, "Are y'all fighting?" And they're women, by the way. And she said, "I'll come down there, and you don't want that today."
Yeah, remember she took some women to task for taking selfies at her show.
Yeah, she did. I think that was in Kansas City, maybe?
I can't remember where that was.
Yeah.
She doesn't like anything. She doesn't like anything taken away from the performance.
That's right. Well, that's most artists.
Right. And she might have done these two a favor. Who knows? They might have hurt each other.
Yeah, they might have. Or she might have hurt them.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were escorted out. And she told one of the security guards, "Oh, you can just throw her over your shoulder. She's so small."
Miranda.
I know. So anyway, so that's a Miranda Lambert show for you if you go to one of her concerts. Now, this is what was really cool. In this, she goes, she says, fighting during Tin Man, not cool.
Right.
Now, kerosene,
Yeah, there's other Miranda Lambert songs to fight to.
songs like that, she goes, I have no problem. Fight to your heart's content. Just don't fight during Tin Man. So that's her strategy to her fans is if you're going to fight, make sure you fight during a really uproaring song, not a ballad.
Yeah.
Not a ballad. But anyway, I'm kind of lost here time-wise. I thought I only had 2 minutes, but I guess I had more time than that, didn't I?
Just a little bit.
I got more time than that, so I got
Just a little bit.
Gosh, man. I think we're all kind of goofy today.
Dude,
know.
yeah, these holidays in the middle of the week, man.
No, it
Throws
just
me
doesn't
off.
work.
It's like I woke up this morning thinking it was Saturday. I was like, I can roll over. I don't have to go into work. Oh, wait.
Guys, now this is serious.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I took a nap in my music room the other day,
Yeah.
and I have never been jolted awake and so scared in my life because I went into a deep sleep, and as I woke up, all I see is light. And I'm thinking, oh no!
That's the worst feeling.
Brother Johnny B's time had come.
Oh no!
It was the light at the end of the tunnel.
I went, oh no, man. And I hear birds. Oh no. I've missed work. Things are bad.
I thought you were going to say you thought you'd passed away. I've got to.
I wouldn't be that.
Moved on.
I wouldn't be that lucky, Ken.
Actually, that'd be all right if you're seeing the light, dude.
Seeing the
Oh, no.
light, hearing the birds
No,
chirping in the background.
If I see the birds.
That's even funnier, though. The fact you thought you were late for work.
I did, man. I thought, oh no.
Dude, there's a meme going around out there where it's a dude about our age sitting straight up in bed, terrified because he thought he missed the school bus. And he's like our age. Slept so deep, had a dream about missing the bus in middle school. Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Oh, gosh.
I had a weird dream last night about Bing Crosby.
You of all people. Oh, and now we got to know what.
He came in here in the newsroom, said Cumulus owed him money. I don't know what to tell you, Bing.
Yeah,
He was talking like this.
he came to the right guy about it, right?
Yeah, you owe me some money.
He's like wearing, what he wore back in those movies,
The old hat. And
Bing Crosby getting stiffed by Cumulus, coming to the newsroom to complain.
looking again for answers.
Well, yesterday was weird. So maybe I did sleep last night then.
I think you did more.
We won't tell that story.
From what you're saying. Anyway.
What was in that potato salad? That's what I wanna know.
What was in that? Anyway, we've got serious news coming up. Longtime CBS anchor claims he was fired for being white. And we'll have that story coming up next after Ken Weaver and the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Looks like the heaviest of the rain is now well east of Nashville. That's getting over there toward Cookeville. Nothing severe, just some heavy rain. Right now, got some light rain here in the neighborhood. We'll tell you more about it during the full forecast in 2 minutes. Breaking news in the Covenant school shooters writing case. The judge presiding over the media's effort to release it to the public issued a statement last night saying none of that material will be released at this time because the judge in Nashville says it's the property of Metro Nashville and protected under federal copyright. Election 2024, all eyes on the president today. Donors and allies closely watching that interview with George Stephanopoulos tonight as they decide whether to keep on supporting President Biden or not. Nashville may have set a record last night as some of the fireworks going off at the big Let Freedom Sing concerts and fireworks show. The organizers say they drew a crowd of 355,000 spectators. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
We've actually got Rob Reiner this time.
Good morning. It's 9:35. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the Chris Hand Show. Chris is on a little vacation. Johnny B sitting in for him. Glad to have you with us. 615-737-9986. That's how you can super text. You can also call us there, too. Every now and then we'll take a phone call. And next hour, of course, we'll be talking to Eric Ruark, who is the Director of Research and Public Relations from Numbers USA. He also used to be with FAIR. Meta, which is, of course, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. They're facing a proposed class action lawsuit alleging that the company is favoring hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers, and this does include illegal immigrants. And I don't care how many times they say you can't say that, I'll say it that much more, because that's exactly what they are. So we'll be talking about that next hour. Got a lot of stuff in the news today. Most of it, of course, centering around President Biden's horrible performance during the debate last Thursday, a week ago. Well, there's other story out there that we always talk about DEI and how it's basically destroying a lot of businesses out there. This past Monday, longtime CBS anchor Jeff Vaughn, he was with KCAL. It was CBS-owned television station for 8 years before being replaced by a younger black anchor named Chauncey Glover. Vaughn is arguing that CBS selectively targeted him solely because he was a white male and highlighted a number of occasions where his decades of expertise were ignored. He claimed that CBS had, from the top down, implemented an illegal hiring, promotion, or retention policy based on age, race, sexual orientation. According to the New York Post, under CEO George Cheeks, the broadcaster set diversity goals such as ensuring 40% of primetime writers were people of color in the 21-22 season. During the effort to achieve that ratio, CBS News and station's president, Wendy McMahon, was hired, at which point Vaughn claimed the diversity push kicked into high gear. It was she who oversaw his replacement. In his $5 million lawsuit filed in a federal court in California, Vaughn explained that CBS News Los Angeles general manager told him he would be gone in 6 months with no direct reason given. He was only told it was not about the ratings. Over the following weeks, Vaughn then alleged that he was excluded from a number of things that he would once have been front and center in. During CBS News' 9/11 20th anniversary special, he was completely left out, despite having been at ground zero on September 11th himself. He was also notably absent from the station's billboard promoting its evening shows, despite being the most prominent anchor. His co-anchors, all of whom were either racial or gender minorities, were included. When the time came for him to depart, Vaughn was allegedly told to make it seem like it was his decision, but he refused. His co-anchor nonetheless tried to paint the situation that way, said CBS decided there were too many white males at CBS, and it acted accordingly, according to Vaughn. It needed to solve its white male problem by firing successful white males. So this is going to be an interesting one to watch. Excuse me, coughing fit in here. Don't know what's going on. But anyway, this is going to be one to watch because we have seen a lot of this over the years. And I think diversity is great. I love diversity, but I also like excellence. And that's what we need more of, is excellence. If they're excellent at their job, I don't care what they do or how they live their lives, as long as they're not hurting anybody. But you're going to see more and more of these, I do believe, as time goes on. Because everything's about race now. Everything. And the Democrats have basically brought this to the fore. They brought it to the party. If you don't believe me, look at the California delegates. One California delegate says that black women will blow up the Democrat Party if Dems choose a white man over Kamala Harris if Joe Biden steps down. The California delegate says that if they do that, they want Harris to stay on the ticket. Areva Martin, she appeared on the Stephen A. Smith Show. She made the comments while talking about the disastrous presidential debate performance from Biden. She says you've got to build consensus, and there is no consensus right now. She said if they pick a white man over Kamala Harris, black women, I can tell you, we're going to walk away. We're going to blow the party up. Where are you going to walk away to, Avina? She was asked. Asked why she was in favor of Biden going back into the White House, and she responded by saying she wanted Biden because Harris would also be in his administration. She adamantly was against the idea of having California Governor Gavin Newsom, a different white male politician, come into the picture and take Biden and Harris off the ticket. She's not for that at all. She said, y'all need to stay the course. We got more black judges appointed under Joe Biden, under anyone, even President Barack Obama. You don't give up on your star player in the middle of a game. So once again, everything's about race, and it shouldn't be. Smith himself, once again, argued that Biden should be pulled out of the race and replaced with someone else for the 2024 election. For all of you on the Republican side, I would say I would stick with Hunter Biden. Let's keep Joe in, because I think that's a surefire way Donald Trump can win. And of course, the Hollywood celebrities have had to interject their own feelings. And one of my own favorites, Rob Reiner. Yes, he's come back. He's claiming that if Donald Trump wins, this is going to be the end of any more Independence Days for us. That's what he said. This is from his op-ed piece. He said this might be our last July 4th ever if Trump retakes the White House. And that came from Rob. He used Independence Day to attack former President Trump, claiming that this would be our last Independence Day. If the convicted felon becomes president, this will be the last Independence Day that we will be independent. How brilliant, Rob. Oh, Rob, did I tell you? Hunter Biden's a convicted felon, too. See, that's where the Democrats went wrong. They thought taking Trump to court at this time would level him. And to put convicted felon in front of it would level him. It hasn't. It's only ramped up his popularity. This has all gone so differently than the Democrats thought. They're in panic mode right now. That's why you have some in Hollywood, a lot in Hollywood, and some in Washington, mostly the Biden family, telling Joe to hang on and that he's still sharp. And we all know that's wrong. It was proven to us that he's not. It has also proven to us the night of the debate that the Democrat Party has done nothing but lie to the American people for a very long time now. Radio stations like this, outlets like this have tried to tell people that Joe Biden is in no shape to run the country. And yet the Democrat Party has told you, oh, no. Joe's in great shape. Joe's sharp. Oh, behind the scenes, we can't keep up with him. But then the American people saw the truth for themselves. A week ago Thursday, That Thursday night, people saw for themselves, those that have not been paying attention, wow, something's wrong with Joe Biden. And it is. It certainly is. It's scary, and it's also troubling. What bothers me more than anything is what is his family, is the only reason they want him to stay in for their own power, their own standing. Because, man, they sure are adamant about him staying in. If my father acted like that, I'd be begging him to stay home. I would be begging him to get help, not be out in public, and not holding the nuclear football, not making decisions that are life and death for other people. The Democrats are in free fall right now. They are scared to death because this did not work out the way they thought. What they thought, I guarantee you this, they thought that they could keep the wool over your eyes long enough to get him in for another term. And they thought that they could give him enough prep to get him ready for a debate. It didn't work out that way. Even with, 2 weeks preparation, he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. And with people like Rob Reiner saying that if Trump gets back in, that's the end of our independence. Rob, why didn't that happen when he was first in? Rob, it's not going to happen. I think the days of people listening to celebrities are thankfully coming to an end. It's not that I don't think celebrities should have the opportunity to speak their minds. They should. But you shouldn't be weighing your vote, weighing a life-changing decision on what a celebrity tells you, because they don't live the life you do. A lot of celebrities have everything handed to them. They have people that drive them everywhere. They have people that shop for them. They live in gated communities. They don't live like you do. So they can't understand what you're going through. And especially with this economy the way it is. People were hoping to get through a July 4th cookout yesterday without going broke. This is not the America that I grew up with. The America that promised a better tomorrow. An America that promised that you could be all you could be as long as you worked for it. All of these great things that make America unique and special are disappearing. And it's not Donald Trump's fault. Not at all. But I do blame people like Joe Biden and the likes that have been there, since the 70s? Which that's not what government was meant to do. It wasn't meant to be a career. It was meant to be a service. When you work for government, you're a civil servant. You're not a king, you're not a queen. But yet, that's how it's become. And that's where we're at today. People like Joe Biden feel like they're untouchable. Because frankly, they have been. There are a lot of politicians that should be under the jail right now that are not. And that will walk free until the day they finally depart this earth. But things have to change. And the way it's got to change is we've got to stay vigilant. We've got to vote. Voting is so important this year. No more sitting at home letting others do it. If you're tired of the way things are, get out and make it happen. And make this place a much better place than what it is right now. And let's get some decent leaders in there that can turn this ship around and make us live the kind of life that we were promised in what was called the Promised Land. We've got more coming up. It is the Chris Hands Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris. 615-737-9986 is the number to call. Also the number to text in. We'll read a few of your texts coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
I do everything from scrubbing cages to asking people for donations to answering the phones and helping facilitate getting animals to the rehab. I'm there on the weekends, up there taking care of animals with the team.
You got a great team there. It's a small team, but a great team that works together. And
I started about 20 years ago. My dear friend Carol Burgess founded Harmony in Fairview.
Okay.
And we decided to reopen it in West Nashville. And we are rocking along. Lots of animals. One of the primary calls that we get are, I found a bird, it's on the ground, what do I do? And in most situations, you should let it alone unless there's an imminent danger to that animal, because the parents are helping it and feeding it, and it just needs a couple of scary days on the ground until it gets back up into flight. What about bunnies, Melody? Can we give advice about bunnies?
The bunnies, they're just the sweetest, most innocent creatures, and we just see the worst things happen to them. Cats, dogs, lawnmowers, weed whackers.
In most cases, if the animals aren't injured, if you can put the rabbits back, that's always better to be with the mother rabbit than to come to us.
All the storms that have been coming through and just destroying nests, and a lot of babies will be found on the ground. Re-nesting is possible and preferable.
You play the video calls and you put the baby near where they found it, and the mama will actually come down and pick it up and then bring it back.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
Nice.
got a crash. Looks like it's blocking the right 3 lanes of 65 southbound in Brentwood. And coveted school shooters writings update. Took less than a week for someone to vandalize a new symbol to celebrate Nashville's LGBTQ plus community. And in Money News, we got that June jobs report and what it says at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you much, Brother Ken. It's 9:55. It is the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris. Glad to have you with us. 615-737-9986. That, of course, is the number to call to get into the radio show. And that is, of course, where you can get in on the members-only super text line as well. And keep it right here, too, on 99.7 because we've got great talk radio coming up all day long. I do believe Murphy's show at 12 noon. And then 3 o'clock, The Drive with Brian Wilson. It never stops. It's right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Going to the super text line, we were talking about Meathead, good old Rob Reiner. And I don't know, a lot of you longtime listeners to WTN probably remember Rob Reiner being with Phil Valentine back in the day. If you ever get a chance, listen to that interview because that was during the 2004. No, that was 2000. It was in 2000. And Al Gore looked to be losing in his home state of Tennessee. So Hollywood flew all of these celebrities out here. And apparently they asked around what's the hot show, what's the number one talk show, and at the time, of course, it was Uncle Phil. And so Cher calls in, and that was comical. And Phil kind of tongue-tied her. So I guess they thought, well, we better get somebody hard-hitting in there. So Rob Reiner gets on and won't allow Phil to talk at all and just really got just a butthole. That's what it was. So if you ever get a chance, you can SoundCloud it. Just look up Phil Valentine, Rob Reiner interview. And I mean, it is, it's classic. And a lot of you are saying the same thing as well. 1619 says, you know, when the Democrats bring up the convicted felon charges, come back with that Biden was not charged because he was a confused old man. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But said Rob Reiner is a real meathead. Yes, he is. And in fact, when you listen to the interview, Phil Valentine also ends it that way as well. Said, take care, meathead. Oh, and I think 1827 has it down definitely. Jill Biden is scared to death. They have 3 home mortgages and in debt up to their eyeball, up to their Biden. Yes, sir. That's very true. That's very true. Well, you got to stay with us because coming up next hour, we've got a lot more to cover. Plus, we're going to be talking about this this class action lawsuit that's being leveled against Meta. That's the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. They're facing this lawsuit that is alleging the company favors hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers. And this also includes illegal immigrants, which is no surprise to any of us, but a surprise to others. They say the lawsuit could potentially represent thousands of American workers who have lost out on jobs to foreign visa holders who are paid much less. So we'll be getting into that with Eric Rourke. He is the Director of Research and Public Relations at Numbers USA. He also used to be with FAIR, which is the company that, of course, keeps track of illegal immigration in our country. So we'll be talking to him about this class action lawsuit against Meta about hiring cheaper foreign workers, a lot of them illegals. So much to cover, so little time. It is the Chris Hand Show, 615-737-9986. It's a pleasure to have you with us on this Friday. Johnny B sitting in on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we've got a crash to tell you about. It is blocking the right 3 lanes of 65 southbound in Brentwood, so you're not going to be going anywhere fast there. Had some showers come through this morning, some of it packing thunder and lightning and some heavy rain. We'll tell you more about that and what to expect during the full forecast in 2 minutes. We have a ruling from the judge in Nashville presiding over the Covenant school shooters writings case. It says none of that material can be released at this time, citing what she says is the property of Metro Nashville under protection of federal copyright. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Star claims to have obtained more than 80 pages of Audrey Hale's writings from a source it says is familiar with the investigation. The Star has published what it says is more than 60 articles, including the killer's words or private details about the investigation. The Tennessee Star also published what it says is an FBI memo sent to Metro Police Chief John Drake in May of 2023, just after the lawsuits were filed that, quote, strongly advised MNPD against releasing the material the FBI referred to as legacy tokens from killers like Hale, saying the writings are unfit for public release. And it didn't take long for someone to vandalize what is meant to be a celebration of Nashville's LGBTQ plus community. News 2 says the crosswalk, painted to resemble a rainbow outside of the state's only lesbian-owned bar, is now covered with a tar-like substance. It was just last week that hundreds of volunteers got together to paint the crosswalk at the intersection of 14th Street and Woodland. Metro Councilwoman Emily Benedict telling News 2 the LGBTQ caucus is trying to get more information to find out what happened to the crosswalk and that it will be repainted. That crosswalk was made possible in part through the Nashville Department of Transportation's Tactical Urbanism program. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The Guaranteed Offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a Guaranteed Offer and start packing.
Boy, was he right. Government is a problem. It's 10:05. Good morning. It is the Chris Hands Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris, who's taking some much-deserved time off. And we're glad to have you with us. 615-737-9986. That's the number to call to get into the show. You can also super text us on the Members Nutrition Super Text line with that very number. You can also check us out on Super Talk TV. You can catch that on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live, 997.com. You name it, it's there. We're everywhere. There's just no escape from us. If you try to escape Ken Weaver, there's no way.
Can't get away from it, Brother Johnny B.
No, a shirtless Ken Weaver will be in your life, whether you like it or not.
That's right. Little fellow with a long beard can run real fast.
And they got a big smile on his face.
Yes, sir.
Always. Always. 10:06. We're so happy you're with us. Coming up this hour, too, at 10:35, be talking to Eric Rurik. He is the Director of Research and Public Relations for Numbers USA. And what's happened is Meta, that's the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, they are facing a proposed class action lawsuit alleging that Meta favors hiring cheaper foreign workers, some of them illegal, over American workers. And they say this lawsuit could potentially represent thousands of American workers who have lost out on jobs to foreign visa holders who are paid much less. And plus, we'll get into how that affects everything else in our economy. You know, if you ever wonder why wages don't go up, you can once again blame that on illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, a lot of people don't realize this. And I say this a lot, but you have to say it a lot to get it through some people's thick skulls. But illegal immigration has its tentacles in a lot of the problems that America has today, including companies hiring illegal immigrants for less money. What happens is, not only does that short circuit job growth, it also short circuits income growth. So if you've noticed that, oh man, wages just aren't where they used to be, a lot of that is due to the influx of illegal immigrants. And with the number that has come in during this administration, it's far worse. So I'm glad that this is coming to the, I'm glad this is going to court with Meta. We'll find out more when we talk to Eric.
Look at him. Nice and cozy, watching direct.
What the heck was that?
Computer sneaking in.
Boy, that was a gremlin. What? This has been, may I say, this has been the weirdest day ever since I've walked into the station.
How did he get in?
Yeah, how did he get in here? But anyway, yeah, I don't know where that came from. That was very odd.
That's my bad.
Oh, was that you?
That's me, Brother Johnny B. Working on some news here, man.
Well, you're a busy man.
Had it up there. Should have brought that down.
That's okay. It's all right, Ken. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Donald Trump, by the way, was being applauded over the July 4th holiday for laying off Joe Biden and others. Ever since the debate, they said that he has been a good boy, has not bashed anybody on social media until yesterday. The former President Donald Trump yesterday shared a viral video of himself bashing President Joe Biden on the golf course post-debate, essentially sucking the wind out of the sails of the establishment media by not only reposting the clip, but adding the all-caps caption, "No tax on tips," as he handed a group of individuals off-camera cash in the viral recording. And so this is what Trump asks a group of individuals, handing them the cash from the golf cart. So how did I do with the debate the other night? His youngest son, Barron Trump, can be seen riding shotgun throughout the exchange. Trump wearing a polo that has MAGA on the collar and 47 prominently on the sleeve can then be heard calling Biden an old broken down pile of crap and a bad guy. He then tells the individuals that Biden is rumored to be quitting the race because of Trump. He said, that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. She's so effing bad. But then he asked, can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, very tough guy. And they see him, they just announced he's probably quitting. We keep knocking him out, don't we? And that's what Trump says as he drives off. I've seen the video. It is quite hilarious. Many on social media are quick to post that Trump's ability to turn a narrative around as he humorously shared the video himself with the caption, no tax on tips. That is pretty funny. But Joe is getting hammered by his own party. In fact, his top donors, Biden's top donors, they're saying they're set to pull support after the debate. In fact, they said prominent ones have withdrawn their support already for President Joe Biden following his widely criticized performance in the past debate last Thursday. When Biden faced Donald Trump that evening in Atlanta during the debate, Biden's responses were often incoherent. He frequently tailed off without finishing a sentence. He's raising concerns among his supporters about his well-being. And since then, he's still facing mounting criticism, with some calling for him to end his re-election bid to allow the Democrat Party to select a new candidate. Bookmakers have also noticed a decline in his odds of winning the general election. Significant donors were also crucial in funding his campaign, are now reconsidering their support. George Conway, we remember George, don't we? An attorney who had previously donated the maximum allowing amount of just under $1,000 to the Biden Victory Fund expressed his concerns publicly. He said, as I'm sure many of you have, I've been thinking a lot about the electoral choice we'll have in 2024 with more focus over the past few days. And I keep returning to a conclusion that I reached a while back, but felt it was not realistic enough as a scenario to be worth expressing. Conway said, it's this, for the good of the country and their own good, both of the major party presidential candidates should retire. And may I add here, George Conway should too. Hollywood elites have also come out, the ones that have supported Biden. They're showing signs of withdrawal. In spite of showing up for a March fundraiser in New York City that raised $25 million for Biden's 2024 campaign, Variety has reported that all eyes are on Jeffrey Katzenberg. He's the DreamWorks Pictures co-founder and former Disney executive. He played a key role in the March event to see how he will react. According to sources close to Katzenberg, he's adopting a wait-and-see approach regarding Biden's debate fallout. And similarly, media mogul and major Democrat donor Haim Saban, who has recently voiced disagreements with Biden on issues such as the administration's policies regarding Israel's war with Hamas, is also reassessing his support. So it sounds like the faithful are beginning to jump ship. The rats are vacating. Another prominent figure in Hollywood fundraising commented, there's a sense that the money dried up last night about 10 minutes into the debate. And it surprises me that it took Hollywood and it took the left-wing media this long to notice it. To notice what we've all noticed all the time Joe Biden's been in office, is that he's falling apart. We saw this. We have seen this ever since he's been in office. But yet, for some reason, now the left-wing media and everybody else is caught up. So now it's panic mode. What are we going to do? And Hollywood is saying that they're going to stand behind Harris if Biden leaves. Donald Trump's campaign and some of his allies have in fact launched a preemptive political strike on the vice president, moving swiftly to try to discredit her amid talk among some of her fellow Democrats that she might replace Biden atop the party's 2024 presidential ticket. On social media and in a flurry of statements over the past 48 hours, Trump's campaign and his Republican allies, they appear to be laying the groundwork for an all-out assault on Harris should the 81-year-old Biden decide to end his re-election bid following his feeble debate performance last week. Can you imagine Joe Biden even making it through the next year? Gosh, I can't. Now, while Biden is insisting he's not quitting the race 4 months before the November 5th election, Harris has stood firmly behind him. The Trump campaign has little to lose by attacking the vice president now, so that if Harris does emerge as the nominee, she might do so in a weakened state. You know, Republicans, a lot of Republicans have, and myself included, have criticized Harris over the years and during Biden's time in office as well. The attacks this week are representing a sharp and seemingly coordinated escalation that appeared to be linked to increased talk about her possibly replacing Biden as a Democrat presidential candidate. This is what I think is happening in this whole scenario. I truly believe the Biden family is going to fight to survive. They're going to fight to keep Joe in office. The Democrat Party is not with them. I think they were at one time. I think the Democrat Party now wants a change. But the Bidens are going to fight to keep the office. So it's going to be a very interesting 4 months, because is it too late? There are all kinds of questions. Is it too late for the Democrats? I believe it is. I think it's gone way too far. I don't think they can pull somebody out of the hat that's going to energize their base. Save Michelle Obama. She might. But if everyone's right that knows her so well to say that she won't run, then the Democrats are lost. Because with just 4 months to go, there's no one they can bring up that's going to excite their base. The Democrats were counting on keeping Joe hidden, basically, and to keep him out there long enough to pull the wool over your eyes. Oh, he's okay. What happened is they thought they could get away with it during the debate, and it didn't. What the debate showed, it showed all of the problems that Joe is facing cognitively. And that's what's happened. Now it's come to the forefront. They can't lie anymore. It's out where everybody can see it. And so you're going to have the Biden family fighting with the Democrats on trying to keep their office. It's going to be quite interesting. We've got a lawsuit coming up against Meta That's the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. We'll be talking to Eric Rourke, the Director and Research and Public Relations over at Numbers USA, about what this all means and why the lawsuit's happening. Plus, we'll be taking some of your phone calls before we get out of here, and we'll be reading your texts as well. And don't worry, Chris Hand is going to be back. He is on vacation. Johnny B sitting in for him, back with a lot more on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
I still got that crash in Williamson County. It is blocking the right entrance lane to go southbound on 65 from Old Hickory Boulevard. A Nashville judge has ruled in the Covenant school shooters' writings case, and a Metro Council member says work is underway to try to fix the vandalism of the rainbow-painted crosswalk in East Nashville to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community. That's coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, my brother Ken. It's 10:24. Good morning. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Johnny B sitting in for Chris Hand today on the Chris Hand Show. We're always so happy to have you along with us. Coming up, we are going to be talking to Eric Rourke. He is the Director of Research and Public Relations over at Numbers USA. Used to be at FAIR at one time, too, which, of course, is the group that keeps a watch on everything illegal immigration-wise. And what's happening is that Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, well, they are facing a proposed class action lawsuit. The company apparently favors hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers. This includes illegal immigrants as well. So this is going to be quite interesting and a very interesting talk, too. I want to see how this lawsuit works out. They say, in fact, Numbers USA posted that Meta is notorious for displacing qualified Americans with guest workers and seeking to expand the labor pool in order to drive down wages and working conditions in the U.S. Man, this is the whole thing. Whenever you've heard people say, I can't find Americans to work for, they just don't want to work. Americans just don't want to, that's not the, Americans don't want to work for the money that you're offering. That's what the bottom line is. So let's stop that ridiculous statement, because I do believe Americans want to work. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Meta and with everyone else that is hiring illegal immigrants, because people are. It's been going on for some time now. But it's crazy, and we'll have more on that story coming up as the show continues. 10:26, and I don't know if you guys caught this or not, if my computer will work right, but President Biden was called out yesterday on X or Twitter, whichever you like to call it, over his account featuring a Pride Month photo instead of one honoring the 4th of July holiday. He discreetly changed his photo after the popular conservative X account Libs of TikTok shamed him over the matter, replacing it with one that said Happy 4th of July, which to some people, that also will inflame them, because it's Independence Day. It's not 4th of July. But that's what the Libs of TikTok did. They said this, they show the banner, they show the Twitter page, and it said Happy Pride Month, President Biden. The post drew criticism and resulted in individuals demanding Biden change it, claiming the president hates America. About 2 hours later, Libs of TikTok declared victory. They issued a follow-up post announcing that the president had removed the Pride Month photo from his account. According to the Libs of TikTok, we just forced some intern to work on a federal holiday and change the banner picture on the official POTUS account. Great work, everyone. Happy 4th of July. Thrilled users chimed in with one saying the power of free speech on X can't be overstated. Another win for the Patriots on this platform, added another. X is MAGA country, another wrote. So a lot of fun on Twitter yesterday with Biden changing his Twitter picture. And more people are asking Biden to drop out too. I mean, the line is getting long. Not only are other Democrats saying so, but also fundraisers are. Damon Lindelof is one. He's a lifelong Democrat. He said, I love my complicated, glorious country. I'm not writing this anonymously because I'm asking others in positions of influence to do the same. I don't know if what I have to say will matter, but I know what my eyes and my ears and my heart tell me. I've been asleep at the wheel, and it's time to wake up. The TV writer and producer who has been a significant contributor to Democrat campaigns, including Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Biden, he said that last week's CNN presidential debate was simply game-changing and argued money is what gives people the ability to create change and influence the decisions of those in power. So basically what this gentleman's saying, he wants Biden to step down. And he's a contributor. He's a donor. So the louder that gets, the more likely that Biden will step down. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next 4 months. It's also going to be interesting to see what happens with this lawsuit this class action lawsuit against Beta, the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Well, they've got a class action lawsuit that says they prefer hiring illegal immigrants over American workers. We'll talk to an expert next about that after Ken Weaver's news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Right now, still have that accident causing problems in Brentwood. It is the right shoulder blocked right there, 65 southbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Nashville Judge Aisha Miles says none of the Covenant school shooters' writings can be released at this time. Her ruling coming overnight in the lawsuit by the media and others to get that released to the public. Judge Miles says the writings are property of Metro Nashville under federal copyright protection. Channel 4 says Covenant families of the victims and the Covenant school who fought to keep those writings private released statements of appreciation for the judge's ruling this morning. A Metro Council member says work is underway to try to figure out what happened to the rainbow-painted crosswalk in East Nashville to celebrate Nashville's LGBTQ plus community. It's been covered with black tar just days after hundreds of volunteers got together on Saturday to paint that crosswalk at 14th and Woodland. And a new jobs report from the federal government shows 206,000 were added in June. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says jobs were added in government, healthcare, social assistance, and construction. The unemployment rate rose to 4.1%. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Oh, great. My computer just died. 10:35. Good morning. It is Friday. It is the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B in for Chris. He's on vacation. He will be back. And in fact, we've got guest hosts
all day long.
A festival coming up at 12 noon. Of course, we have my own buddy Des Dickerson will be in. And then at the Drive.
Yeah, 3 to 7. We got Cameron Smith coming in.
Cameron Smith's coming in. Awesome.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun day. Keep it right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, Meta, that's, of course, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Well, they're facing a proposed class action lawsuit, and this alleges the company is favoring hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers. This does include illegal immigrants that are coming into the country. And a group that has been keeping track of this is Numbers USA. By the way, while we've been sitting here talking, wanted to let you know that over 3,500 illegal immigrants have entered the country just today. But anyway, a gentleman that is with Numbers USA, Eric Rourke, also, I do believe, used to be with FAIR. How are you doing, Eric?
Well, you are correct, and doing well. Thanks for having me on. Happy 4th to you.
Well, happy 4th to you as well. Now, this is going to be interesting to see because I think this has been going on not just with, of course, Meta, but a lot of companies across our country have been hiring cheaper foreign workers over American workers. What brought on this class action lawsuit?
What brought it on is, and we have what's called the H-1B guest worker visa system,
right.
And Meta, which is, there's no doubt that they're favoring foreign workers. The problem that we've faced in the past is that Congress wrote that law back in 1990 to allow companies to hire foreign guest workers, even if they were available and qualified American workers.
Right.
And this lawsuit came about because the suit is about a systematic discrimination against U.S. citizens. It's interesting, in this case, it was originally brought on by someone who is an immigrant. He's a naturalized citizen. And so his argument is, once I became a citizen, I was discriminated against because of that citizenship. And if you think about that, that's one of the most valuable things that anyone can possess in the world is U.S. citizenship.
Exactly.
But in this case, he's saying there was a detriment when it came to being hired by Meta because they're preferring to bring in cheaper and compliant, because if you're on an H-1B visa, you can't go work for another employer. Your employment or your status in this country is tied to a particular employer. So you can't go work for a competitor.
Right.
You are bound to that particular employer. So you're being paid less and you don't have mobility. So you don't have bargaining power. And this is an important case in the fact that the court has allowed this to proceed. They haven't said to this U.S. citizen, you don't have standing to sue. And it's common sense. Most people would think that our United States government would not allow employers to discriminate against U.S. citizens when it comes to employment. But they have been able to since 1990. So we're at a point where this is going to proceed, and this creates a split. So there's two different circuits who have ruled on this. One has allowed it to proceed. It goes back to the 80s where they said, well, this doesn't apply. Mm-hmm. So probably this will go to the Supreme Court. And I don't want to overplay the significance, but I don't want to downplay how important this case is, because it does allow U.S. citizens to say employers are discriminating against us and they're violating the law by doing so.
Well, they should be able to do that because this has been going on for a long time. I mean, not just with Meta, but gosh, you have other like we've heard stories about Tyson Chicken, about how they were basically just hiring illegal immigrants over American workers. And not only does it screw up the entire system of the United States, but also it'll affect paychecks. It affects everything about our economy.
It does. And that's the thing you're right about Tyson's. That's another violator of the law. But, there's countless employers who are doing this because our government is allowing them to get away with it. But also the court system up to this point has not allowed standing for U.S. citizens to challenge what's happening.
Yeah.
And there's lots of Disney got sued. This is a few years ago for laying off American workers who they may train their replacements, and then they laid them off. Foreign guest workers.
Oh yeah.
And if they didn't train, if they didn't take the settlement and leave, they weren't going to get paid, a severance pay basically. And so a lot of the Disney workers sued in a class action suit, and the court says, well, Congress made the law this way. And I guess in Meta's case, they didn't, dot the I's and cross the T's here. They were too nonchalant about how they were going about this. And so the class action lawsuit was allowed to go forward because Meta is so, it's such an egregious violation what they're doing. And you're right. It shouldn't be happening. Now, Congress could step in and change it, and that's really how we must address this issue. Is Congress needs to tighten the law when it comes to what employers are allowed to do. It's not that the foreign workers coming in don't have skills,
right?
But they don't have more qualifications than STEM grads who are coming out of American universities, who have degrees in STEM and who want to go into the tech field. They're more than capable of doing these jobs. They're just going to be more expensive than the foreign guest workers coming in.
Exactly. And I think that's where it all lies, is money. And it's just, to me, it's just pure greed. I think a lot of these folks like Zuckerberg are just looking for a cheaper way to get their product out there. But they don't realize, or maybe they do, but like we said, it's hurting every aspect of our economy. And it's hurting our own workers, our own people. And it's time for someone to do something. And I don't feel real promising after we watched our debate last Thursday. What did you take of that, of a Biden? I know this is off topic, but can you believe that we're even seeing this at this time, of seeing someone that is that, he's that problematic as far as his cognitive abilities? And we've been saying this for a year, and just now is the Democrat Party starting to throw up flags of, oh my gosh, we've got to do something.
And this comes on, since he came into office, opening the border. And
yes.
And I had this conversation with someone a couple of days ago about, it's my job to watch these debates and to analyze them. But as a U.S. citizen, you watch that and you think, wow, this is where we're at right now. But as a person who can see reality, we've known this.
Yes.
Right? And only now are we beginning to talk about it. And so we put out a statement. USA put out a statement after the debate because we were disappointed that so few immigration questions were asked. But the overall performance of President Biden overshadowed anything. So no one's talking about the border or immigration. They're talking about whether or not he's going to be the candidate. And we are facing, I've always talked in the past about how unprecedented illegal immigration has been under the Biden administration. But this is very much unprecedented. We're in our lifetime, for sure, where we're in this position. And, I'm not going to prognosticate and say this is going to happen, but hopefully we can see candidate Trump put forward policy positions on immigration and on other things where he is challenging any candidate, whoever the candidate is on the Democratic side, to defend what we've seen for the last 3 years when it's come to an open border. And that's what we've seen, and we can't get away from policy. Yes, this is unprecedented. Yes, it's going to be a wild ride. But what we need someone to come in and do is to fix the damage, if they can, that has been done in this Biden presidency by a individual, Joe Biden, who is not in control of the policy. And that's the real question. Who has put these policies in place? Someone has to defend them, and that's a conversation I think we should have going forward.
Exactly. And something's got to be done as far as jobs go, because the latest jobs report showed that foreign-born workers, they gained 637,000 jobs in the last year, and this does include illegal aliens, while native-born workers lost nearly 300,000. I never thought I'd see that in our country at all, Eric.
American workers are losing ground, and someone needs to be on the hook for that. It's not just the president. Certainly Congress has a role to play, but that's the debate we should be having in this election, is why are we touting the lowest unemployment that we've ever seen? Unprecedented, right? We've got the lowest unemployment in history, but what we do see is the greatest number of Americans who aren't working. And when we talk about unemployment, what we're really talking about is people who have been recently unemployed, laid off, who are, officially unemployed. But the people who have dropped completely out of the labor force aren't counted. And we see at this time, there's about 45 million Americans who are between 16 and 64 who aren't working. And there's some of them are retired, some of them are in school, don't want to work. That's true, but we can't just simply brush tens of millions of Americans aside and say, we're not going to care about them. We're going to bring in other people to do the jobs that Americans don't want to do. If 10 million Americans don't want to do these jobs, that's a problem you're not going to solve with immigration.
No.
Sure, immigration has benefited this country, no doubt, and we want it to continue. But what we need to do is to have a policy in place that's sustainable. And what we need, first of all, are limits and enforcement of those limits. And right now, it's difficult to talk about a legal immigration system when we have no rule of law at the border.
Gosh,
not everyone who shows up is getting in, but most of them are. And that's no way to run an immigration system, and certainly no way to run a country.
No, it's not. In fact, you won't have a country if you keep that up. And in fact, since we've been talking, now we're up to 3,562 illegal immigrants that have come into the country just today. Eric, I really appreciate you talking to us today. Where can they check out some of your pieces and check out more about you?
NumbersUSA.com.
That's simple enough. Eric,
it is. You go there and there's an action board right at the top, and you can let your member of Congress know exactly how you feel on immigration issues.
Very cool. Eric, I appreciate you joining us today, and I hope you had a great 4th, and we look forward to talking to you again. Thanks so much.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. 10:48. It is the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B in for Chris today, and we've got a lot more to cover, and we'll try to get to some of your phone calls as well. 615-737-9986. 615-737 WWTN is the phone number. You keep it right where you've got it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Chris Hand for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. This company has been doing what they do in Middle Tennessee since 1994, and they are not going anywhere. This time of year, you might find yourself needing USS more than ever before. Maybe you're seeing the dirt around your foundation kind of recede and go back. Maybe you're seeing cracks in that brick, cracks in your foundation. Your patio steps are sinking. Well, these could all be signs that you have foundation issues. And when you have foundation issues, you want to call the experts that are going to give you fair and honest advice, diagnosis, and then treatment of the problem. Well, those guys are United Structural Systems. When you got somebody coming to see your home and see what's happening, you want to make sure that you can trust them. And you can trust USS. They have 25,000 satisfied residential customers. They've been doing it for a long time, and they're going to leave you satisfied. They're not going to leave until the job is done. And when they do leave, they're leaving a warranty that is there for life. Even if you leave the home, the warranty can stay. They guarantee their best. Just call USS. They're going to take the stress out of your home repair. They've been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee for decades. Call them today, 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. Online at USSTN.com.
I do everything from scrubbing cages to asking people for donations to answering the phones and helping facilitate getting animals to the rehab. I'm there on the weekends, up there taking care of animals with the team.
You got a great team there. It's a small team, but a great team that works together. And
I started about 20 years ago. My dear friend Carol Burgess founded Harmony in Fairview.
Okay.
And we decided to reopen it in West Nashville. And we are rocking along. lots of animals. One of the primary calls that we get are, I found a bird, it's on the ground, what do I do? And in most situations, you should let it alone unless there's an imminent danger to that animal, because the parents are helping it and feeding it, and it just needs a couple of scary days on the ground until it gets back up into flight. What about bunnies, Melody? Can we give advice about bunnies?
The bunnies, they're just the sweetest, most innocent creatures, and we just see the worst things happen to them. Cats, dogs, lawnmowers, weed whackers.
In most cases, if the animals aren't injured, if you can put the rabbits back, that's always better to be with the mother rabbit than to come to us.
All the storms that have been coming through and just destroying nests, and a lot of babies will be found on the ground. Re-nesting is possible and preferable.
You play the video calls and you put the baby near where they found it, and the mama will actually come down and pick it up and then bring it back.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
Nice.
Ruling in the Covenant school shooters' writings case release. The Rainbow Crosswalk, just painted days ago in East Nashville, is now covered by a black tar substance. These stories and more at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, yeah. Feel like I'm on the front porch.
Eating chocolate pudding.
Eating chocolate pie.
Or pie, yeah, pie. Yeah.
Eating chocolate pie, playing the guitar. Watching the turkey come in my yard. It's what this feels like right here.
You got wildlife out there, Brother Johnny B.
You ain't kidding. And some of that wildlife is even out in the yard. Glad to have you on board. It's the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris. Chris will be back, I promise you. He will be back. But we were talking to Eric Rourke of Numbers USA about Meta. And, you know, he was talking about how Meta has just kind of thumbed their nose at, you know, all the legalities out there. That's one thing that Zuckerberg kind of drives me crazy on. He always looks like you can't touch me. That's the way he always acts. He acts like he could get away with anything. And that's just my take on it. But, yeah, I hope to God they start, I hope we start seeing more of these class action lawsuits against some of these companies that are just hiring illegal immigrants. Because it's nothing but pure greed. It's nothing but we want to pay these workers very little money. And it's not helping. I mean, it's hurting our country. It really is. Now, President Donald Trump, former President Trump, he's out again. He's calling for a no-holds, one-on-one debate with President Joe Biden, calling it his answer to the crooked Joe Biden incompetence puzzle. He said, this is what we can do. We'll do another debate, this time no holds barred, an all-on discussion with just the two of us on stage talking about the future of our country. This is what Trump posted on his Truth Social page yesterday, insisting that the ratings for the format would blow everything away. It'd be great. This I can tell you. Attacking Biden's policies, Trump said the debate would allow the president to explain why he wants open borders with millions of people and many violent criminals from parts unknown pouring into our once great nation, or why he wants men playing in women's sports, or demand all electric vehicles within 5 years, or why he allowed inflation to run rampant, destroying the people of our country. Further, according to Trump, the debate would allow Biden, under great pressure, to prove his competence or lack thereof. Trump said the event would be a good old-fashioned debate the way they used to be. Now, the next official presidential debate is scheduled for September 10th on ABC News. Oh, please. Coming after both parties' national conventions. Trump and Biden are the presumptive presidential nominees, but Biden's campaign is in jeopardy after the first debate on CNN because the president's stumbles and actions raised questions among Democrats and Republicans alike about his age and ability to remain in the race. Biden, who is 81, is to make an appearance in Philadelphia this Sunday. He's planning a news conference to be held during next week's NATO summit in Washington, D.C. He's also set to appear in a primetime interview. Oh, gosh. He's set to appear in a primetime interview on ABC News Friday night. Who's doing that interview? It's got to be Stephanopoulos. It's got to be Georgie.
Well, it's not Michael Strahan.
I guarantee you it's going to be George. There's no conflict there.
No.
Oh, please. George Stephanopoulos?
Yeah, remember he was on The View the other day. Wednesday.
George Stephanopoulos, and I'm sorry, but Dana Perino, for all of you on the right, these two people should not be in news. Not at all. They're not news. They're not news people, okay? There's no way they can be objective. It'd be like me. You can't put me in there. I'm not objective. Am I? No. But at least I don't say I am. But this is good. So anyway, he's going to be in a primetime interview, Biden, which was moved up from Sunday because of the growing concerns about his campaign.
Yeah, remember they wanted it recorded.
Yes.
So ABC News could then just release excerpts from it, you know, get more viewership. But then they said, no, ABC, we need you to do that all tonight. Okay.
Well, are they going to film this? Or is it going to be live?
It's live.
So it's really going to be live.
That's what it says.
Oh, I've got to watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to see this. There's no way. There's no way. What's
President Biden? My first question is, why are you such a good president?
Yeah. And do you feel like the father of our country? Because I feel like you are. You're our daddy.
Why do Americans not understand that your plan for the economy is working?
The millions of illegal immigrants you brought in are going to make America great. Oh, good Lord. We are in trouble. We'll tackle it more next hour. Keep it right where you've got it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Judge Aisha Miles presiding over the lawsuit to force the release of Covenant school shooter Audrey Hale's writings to the public says not at this time. Judge Miles' ruling, posted just before midnight, says that material is the property of Metro Nashville under federal copyright protection. Families of the Covenant victims and members of the Covenant school releasing statements of appreciation for the judge's ruling. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Star says it has published at least 60 documents from material it claims is from Audrey Hale they obtained from, they say, someone close to the investigation that show what Hale was planning. The Tennessee Star also claims to have a memo from the FBI to Police Chief John Drake in May of 2023 that says that material is not fit for public release. The Rainbow Crosswalk in East Nashville to celebrate the city's LGBTQ plus community is covered in a black tar substance. News 2 says Metro Council member Emily Benedict says that crosswalk will be repainted, while the LGBTQ plus caucus works to figure out what happened. Hundreds of volunteers showed up on Saturday to paint the crosswalk in rainbow colors in front of the state's only lesbian-owned bar, Lipstick Lounge. Some of that marred now just 6 days later. And in Money News, the Labor Department out with its jobs report for June says it shows 206,000 jobs added. The unemployment rate ticked up 0.1 of a percentage point to 4.1%, which indicates more people entering the workforce. Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su telling ABC News it may also be due to a jobs market that's favoring the employer, not the employee.
It's taking workers a little bit longer to connect to jobs, but this overall picture remains one of strong, steady growth.
Jobs were added in government, healthcare, social assistance, and construction. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, good morning. It is the Chris Hands Show, but Chris is not here. He is he's on a much-deserved vacation. enjoying some time in West Virginia, I do believe. Beautiful part of our nation. Johnny B sitting in for him. Glad you're here with us. 615-737-9986. That's how you get in on the Members Nutrition Super Text line. You can also get in on the phone lines too. We'll talk to you. It's what's he call it? Agenda Free Friday.
That's what he calls it.
So, so you can call in and talk about whatever you want. I'll talk to you. It's just the kind of guy I am.
We appreciate it.
And I appreciate you. Of course, Mason Fleming is piloting this plane, and Ken Weaver, of course, keeping us abreast of all the news. And we got so much going on. And for some reason, my computer blanked out. And when it did, it took my email with me. So all my show prep's on there. But don't worry. I'm not a bit.
We'll just pivot.
We'll pivot. Get. Anyway, we're a little wonky here today because I think putting July 4th, putting Independence Day in the middle of the week is really bad.
I think we ought to do something like we do on Thanksgiving and make it on a Thursday.
Yes.
And then have a July Black Friday on the 5th.
Yes. We call it something different.
And then employers give us both days off paid.
Please.
Yes. Yeah, there's an idea. And combine it with Juneteenth, and then we'll just take the whole week.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? There we go. We'll just combine it.
Yeah.
Hey, me for president.
Go from June 19th. Let's go from June 19th all the way to July 4th. We'll have that entire space off.
Yes.
Paid time off.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Well, anyway, gentlemen, I got some good news.
Let's hear it.
Boy, this sounds good. Inflation, they say, is easing. All right. They say the job market has returned to the tight but not overheated situation seen before the COVID-19 pandemic threw the U.S. economy into disarray. That's what the Federal Reserve said today. They said in a congressional report that documented the steady emergence of more normal conditions in the aftermath of the health crisis of COVID. Inflation eased notably last year and has shown modest further progress so far this year, according to the Fed. Job market, meanwhile, continued to rebalance over the first half of this year. Labor demand has eased as job openings have declined in many sectors of the economy because we're all working 2-3 jobs just to survive. And labor supply has continued to increase. That's why. Supported by a strong pace of immigration. A strong pace of immigration. It's not a strong pace of immigration. It's the beating drum of illegal immigration. Strong pace of immigration. Immigration in this country is sadly out of control. The balance between labor demand and supply appears similar to that in the period immediately before the pandemic, according to the report. They said the labor market was relatively tight, but not overheated. Nominal wage growth continued to slow. Twice yearly report to Congress comes ahead of 2 days of testimony by Fed Chair Jerome Powell set for Tuesday and Wednesday next week that is likely to focus on the Fed's plans for monetary policy heading into a sensitive election season. Job growth has been slowing, and the unemployment rate has risen steadily from 3.5% last July to 4.1% as of June. Inflation remains around 2.6%. by the Fed's preferred personal consumption expenditures price index, still regarded and elevated by policymakers, but edging towards a point where that may no longer be the case. They say new inflation data will be released on Thursday, and if price pressures continue easing, it may prompt Fed officials to at least open the door to interest rate cuts as soon as September, a call Powell and his colleagues say will be based solely on the economics of the situation, not how it affects the political prospects of either party. Yep, both Democrats and Republicans are likely to quiz Powell on just that issue. They say the Fed is at its most recent policy meeting in June left interest rates unchanged at 5.25% to 5.50%. And fresh projections from policymakers showed them dialing back expectations for rate cuts this year from 3 to just 1. They say financial markets and some policymakers still expect the Fed to deliver 2 cuts of a quarter point by year end. They say a number of congressional Democrats have already been hounding Powell over high rates, complaining their already poor housing affordability for low and middle income households. Republicans, meanwhile, have been critical about the Fed's initially slow response to inflation and could chastise Powell over any indication he may lower rates ahead of the November elections. So you believe what you want, but they say that inflation is easing. I can only hope they're telling the truth. Now, one thing, I've gone to the Supertext line. This does involve Mason. But, Mason, they want to know how your air conditioning is. Did you get your air conditioning worked out?
Oh, my goodness. That is that's a project for the next couple of weeks, I think, unfortunately.
So it's not going. So what's going on with your
my AC has been out for the past week from the storm that happened Sunday morning. So it has been about 90 degrees upstairs and about 88 downstairs. I had some amazing listeners that happened to help me out a little bit, though. Shout out to Daniel. Letting me borrow an AC unit, like a portable AC unit right now.
Really?
To help at least cool down our downstairs a little bit, but it's a lot of space to try and cool down. So I'm tempted to move it into my own bedroom so that way I can just be a little selfish with it. But I'm trying to share the wealth a little bit with everybody else. We all have been kind of sleeping in our living room downstairs in sleeping bags and on the couches down there.
Boy, it's always good. You never realize how important air conditioning is in this area until it goes out.
100 degrees outside.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's been an interesting little struggle here for sure. Fingers crossed it's fixed by next Friday.
Well, I hope for your case it is.
I appreciate it.
Well, as miserable as you might be about that, you know who is having far more a miserable time, my friend? That would be Joe Biden's staff. They say that President Joe Biden's staff is absolutely miserable right now. They said as he pushes on with his re-election campaign, in defiance of voices calling for him to step aside, both from within his Democrat base and without, according to a report that came out today. They say the revelation comes just as he heads into a make-or-break week of planned events, all while his campaign efforts teeter on the precipice of collapse. Axios is reporting that Biden's determination to push on in the wake of his disastrous debate showing is best seen in his insistence that he will not be challenged, much to the despair of those whose job it is to keep him functioning at the highest level possible. According to one staffer, they said everybody's miserable. Senior advisors are a total black hole. Even if you're trying to focus on work, nothing is going to break through or get any acknowledgement from the bosses. The Axios story goes on to relate that how a high-ranking Democrat National Committee official expounded that the only thing that can really allay concerns is for the president to demonstrate that he's capable of running this campaign. Good luck on that one. Everything else feels like Weekend at Bernie's by his inner circle to prop him up. Boy, that's what we see. All these things they're saying. Everything we're hearing about this. Everything we're hearing about Biden's campaign this week, we've been saying for months. Scratch that. Years. We have been saying for years that something is wrong with Joe Biden. He's not all there. And now, after a debate performance that I think the Democrats thought they could they could pull off. It took that long for everybody to go, oh, yep, there's a problem. We knew this all along. We knew this when he was running. That's why they kept him in the basement. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen in this election. And folks, I heard someone on, I think it may have been on Chris's own show, but I heard a young lady call in and she said she's tired of hearing this is an election for the soul of America, that she's tired of hearing that. You may be tired of hearing it, and I understand, but this is an election for the soul of America. The soul of America is up for sale, and we're trying to save it. This is a very important election coming up. Probably one of the most important that you'll face in your lifetime. And the time to get involved is now. Everything you're seeing the Democrat Party do, we've been telling you about for years. They will say, they will do, they'll perform, they'll do anything to get a vote. Even bring people in across the country illegally. But the time to vote is, I mean, you should always be involved, locally, globally. Don't sit it out. Because if you sit it out, then you're part of the problem. Because if you sit it out, then the other guy's going to win. And when he wins, heaven help us, we can't take 4 more years of this. 615-737-9986. We've talked about a lot this morning. I want to give you a chance to talk. Let's go to Fred. He's in Greenbrier. Fred, welcome to the Chris Hand Show. Glad to have you with Johnny B.
Hey, brother Johnny B. It's good to hear you, man.
It's good to hear you.
Don't hear you much anymore, but we know you're still there, and we love you.
Well, I love you back.
I tell you what, I'm glad that I had to wait a little bit because I've really enjoyed everything you said, and you are just spot on. And, I was amazed at all these reports that are coming out now, how the economy is getting better and blah, blah, blah. As our dear departed friend would say, that's a bunch of bovine scatology.
I think so, too. I don't see it improving.
Man, you have been on a roll for the last 5 minutes, and I mean, I agree with every word you said. My granddaddy used to say, some people are so dumb they couldn't pour pee out of a boot with the directions on the heel. And that's my view of the whole dadgum Biden administration. It's a bunch of idiots. I wouldn't hire one of them to scoop up dog poop in my backyard.
I wouldn't either. Because I'm afraid they, especially with a few of them, they might wear it, knowing them. But
yeah, that's true. But anyway, you guys, Ken and all of you, are doing a great job. And Miss Chris, I'm glad he's having a good vacation.
Me too.
He's done a good job of kind of carrying on Phil's legacy because Chris is a good guy, and Murphy and all of them are doing a good job.
Well, God bless you for saying that.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad you had a happy 4th, and have a happy 5th, and keep up the good work, brother.
I sure will, Fred. You do the same. Thanks for all the kind words and everything you said. I appreciate it. Very kind. In fact, the whole gang here, they are fantastic. Chris Hand has been a great addition. Of course, Mass Murphy and Brian Wilson. We've got a great team here, and Super Talk continues all day long. And in fact, we got some great guest hosts coming in. Of course, we'll have Des Dickerson at 12 noon. And then Cameron Smith joins in on the Brian Wilson Drive coming in at 3 o'clock. Super Talk never ends. And in fact, we've got more calls coming up. It is the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris, 11:19. More coming up. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
My name is Chris Hand. If you're having people come over to your home this weekend, the last thing you want is to run into an issue with your AC. And there's a way to avoid it. Well, you call my friends at Busy Bee and you get that annual maintenance done so you make sure your system is running at maximum peak efficiency. You're going to need it if everybody's opening and closing those doors all weekend long. Now, one of the ways to go about this is becoming a member of the Beehive Club. When you become a member of the Beehive Club, this is not a lot of money that we're talking about. It's only $99 and it pays for itself instantly. When you're a Beehive Club member, you get 3 annual tune-ups, 1 for your plumbing, 1 for your heating, 1 for your cooling. You get a 10% discount on all repairs. They tack a $100 annual accrued replacement credit with a maximum of $1,000 on to when you need to replace your system. You get no overtime or holiday fees and exclusive Beehive member promotions. It will pay for itself to become a member of the Beehive Club. But if you've been kicking the can on maintaining your AC system, now's the time to do it. If you've been kicking the can on replacing your AC system, well, you're not going to find a better value on replacement systems. Busy Bee offers up to 12 months with no payment, no interest with approved credit. Busy Bee's your Rude Pro partner. For satisfaction guaranteed, call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. Online at busybehvac.com.
Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Covenant school shooters writings case update. Black tar-like substance now covering that rainbow crosswalk in East Nashville. Police investigating. Details at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Breaking stuff, just having fun. That's your rock and roll patriot, Johnny B, sitting in for Chris Hand on the Chris Hand Show, 1123. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Of course, it is, free agenda-free Friday.
You nailed it.
Agenda-free Friday.
Agenda-free Friday.
You can talk to me on the phone, 615-737-9986. Let's go to Larry. He wants to talk about voting on the Chris Hand Show. Larry, what's happening, my friend?
How you doing, Johnny? It's good to hear you on the radio.
It's good to hear you on the phone, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
What I was calling about, you were mentioning that we do have to get out and vote.
Yes.
It's important. And in Tennessee, it gets, people, I think, understand that the Republicans going to win. I mean, Trump is going to win this thing.
Yep.
And so they think, maybe we don't need to go. But I was at a campaign event for Mark Green. Mm-hmm. I'm in his district, and he made it very clear. He said, it's the down votes you have to worry about. He's being challenged by Megan Barry, and he said, believe it or not, she's raised almost as much money as I have, and in the primary, she crushed her opponent. And this is a woman who has a lot of bad history going on.
A lot of baggage.
So, Yeah, so we got to make sure that the people out there, hey, y'all get out there and vote, and make sure you're voting beyond just the president, that you get down and vote for people who are going to support him. We can't lose Congress. We can't lose this. We want to gain the Senate, so it's important.
Very true. All good points, Larry. I'm right with you, man. Voting is more important than it's ever been right now, and people
absolutely.
Well, people have to get it, and I understand people that say that, man, I tell you what, I'm so burnt out on politics, I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I totally understand that. But I always go back to our founding fathers. They must have gotten tired of all the fighting they had to do just to make this country.
I know.
All the sacrifices they made. And I would hate to see all those sacrifices be for naught just because we don't have the gumption to fight to save it.
I know it. And, it's like people have always told me as I grew, I'm 66, and they always said, in public, you don't talk about politics, nor do you talk about religion. But at this point in the game, I'm thinking to myself, what two more important subjects can you talk about?
Yeah, exactly. What two subjects affect your life more than anything? Those two.
I know.
Very much so. Larry, I appreciate it, man. I hope you had a good 4th.
Yeah, I hope you did too, and for taking my call.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
I don't know what this is, but I like it. What was that?
My bad again. Doing news.
I thought Larry...
I know it doesn't sound like news, but I'm doing news.
I thought Larry brought along his own music.
I thought you were getting ready to transition into something else. I thought, Brother Johnny B playing DJ too.
I have no idea what's going on here, so I'm just going to let it go.
Good grief.
What a day. It's Friday. It's Friday, July 5th. What can I say? Well, let's go back to the phone. Maybe Paul has some music of his own as well. Paul, welcome to the Chris Hand Show with Johnny B. I'm glad to have you.
Hey, am I on? This is Paul.
Hey, Paul, you're on.
Hey, Johnny B, let me tell you something. Let me give you a quick backstory. Last time I talked to, I used to call in WPN all the time, right? And last time I talked, that I called in was when Uncle Phil was here.
Mm-hmm.
He's the last voice I spoke with. When I heard you were on today, I just had to call and talk to you, brother.
Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, something broke when Phil left, and it's my fault, I just went into a, thing, and then I'm coming back, man, because I didn't know what subject was going to trigger me to call in, but last week, the date triggered me.
Okay, we're losing. Your phone is really, it's going weak. And
how about now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. So try again.
Okay, so last week's debate.
Yeah.
Okay, really triggered me, and I'm gonna tell you why.
All right.
Back in 2013, I lost my mom to Alzheimer's.
Sorry, man.
I took care of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not let her go to no nursing home or anything like that. I learned everything it is about Alzheimer's and dementia. And there's one term you probably haven't heard of. It's called sundowning. You heard of sundowning?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened to Joe Biden. He was sundowning hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was you get in your circadian rhythm, and that goes off. When people with dementia, they go through that.
That's right.
It goes through it hard. It's increased. When the sun starts to go down, and it messes with the rhythmic clock, that biological clock. Long story short, man. Okay, when the press secretary, what's her name?
Karine Jean-Pierre.
You talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme? Whatever. Yeah, anyhow, he really pushed the button on me when she was talking about he had a cold and it was jet lag. I'm really, you could call me all kinds of names you want to. You could call me anything. But when you insult my intelligence, you got a fight on your hands, okay? These people will lie to you out of they will look you straight in the eye. It is more than just partisan. This is otherworldly, man. This administration scares me in a way where I can't describe, what it is. It's the quintessential definition of narcissism.
Yes, it is.
In the eye and lie to you. This whole administration is got narcissism. It redefines narcissism, and I'm tired. I'm tired of saying, "Oh, the border's secure." No, the border's not secure. That report you made about the whole the economy's getting better and inflation. Man, that's a bunch of what do you call it?
Yeah, exactly. Bovine scatology. Paul, I'm sorry we're running up on time. I had to put you on hold, but I'm glad you're back with us and hope you stay with 99.7. But yeah, you're right. We're tired of the gaslighting. We're tired of you peeing on our leg and telling us it's rain, because this administration has done more to basically shake the foundations of whatever hopes and whatever trust we have in our government. They are a poor example. 615-737-9986. That's the number to call if you want to get in on a free Agenda Friday right here on the Chris Hand Show. Johnny B sitting in for Chris. More coming up after the news with Ken Weaver on Super Talk 99.7.
Got the full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. I can tell you it looks like all the rain has moved out for the time being, and we may have less humidity. Breaking news. Channel 4 says the owner of Smokin' Thighs restaurant has died of his injuries after that hit and run. Police still looking for the driver of the pickup who ran over 42-year-old Matthew Carney, who has been unconscious and in the hospital ever since. Right now in Nashville, Chancery Judge Aisha Miles ruling overnight that Covenant school shooter Audrey Hale's writings will not be released at this time because it is the property of Metro Nashville under federal copyright protection. And a black tar-like substance is now covering part of the rainbow-painted crosswalk in East Nashville. Metro Police investigating claims of vandalism. Hundreds of volunteers showed up on Saturday to paint the crosswalk in front of the state's only lesbian-owned bar, Lipstick Lounge, to celebrate Nashville's LGBTQ+ community. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at the Glock Store, and I got to tell you, they have some amazing deals for you this 4th of July weekend, only at the Glock Store. This is the place you need to be to train and to buy. Now, with the 4th of July sale, it's huge. It's semi-annual, and they're giving you 30% off Pyramid triggers, only at the Glock Store. Now, I don't have a Glock yet, but the Glock Store has so many Glocks, factory and custom, I just haven't made up my mind yet. Mandis, he's got a Glock and a Pyramid trigger. He says he loves it. He says the difference is like night and day. No more squishy pulls, wondering when it's going to bang. Just a clean, crisp pull with an outstanding break. And I can tell you, Dan didn't sound nearly as gun savvy before he started training at the Glock Store. Pyramid triggers are made to order and can take about 10 days to build. So here's my advice. First, you visit Glockstore.com and you configure your custom Pyramid trigger. Second, at checkout, you just select pick up in store. They'll contact you when your trigger is ready. And then you just bring your Glock with you and they'll install the trigger while you wait for free. The sale ends on Sunday, but don't wait. The sooner you order, the sooner you'll get the come pick up your trigger email. The semi-annual Pyramid trigger sale now through Sunday, only from our friends at the Glock Store and online at Glockstore.com. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
Got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
All of a sudden feeling like I'm in a 60s discotheque. Please welcome, yes, Johnny B. in for none other than Chris Hand today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know why I'm seeing a lot of psychedelic lights and, you know, Adam West doing the Batman dance. I don't know.
It's me with a laser pointer through the window over here.
Yeah, there you there you
Just
go.
distracting you.
That's of course. 11:37. It is the Chris Hand Show. Chris is going to be back. He's on vacation, a well-deserved one, I might add. Johnny B. sitting in for him. 615-737-9986. You can also use that number to get in on the super text line, the Members Nutrition super text line, and we'll read a few of those as well. And we'll also talk to you on the phone because it is an agenda-free Friday. Or, as some people call it, gender-free.
Hey, it just depends on how you say it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I do want to make one call out real quick from the super text line.
Please do.
9966. I do appreciate the offer for the 2 window units for the AC stuff. You guys have been super helpful and super awesome with all of that situation there. If you are able to meet about possibly selling me those, I would love to. Please respond back on the super text line. I'll be waiting for that response there. Thank you so much, guys.
Well, look at you go.
You guys are awesome. I was like, you guys have been super loving and kind through all of this, and I really do appreciate it.
You know, that shows.
It's hot outside.
We have the nicest.
We have the best. We have the best listeners.
We really do. We have the best listeners anywhere.
Absolutely. I was like, I've worked over on KDF a little bit. I've worked over on the Zone some, and I think you guys top them all. If we could reach through the radio and hug and kiss every one of you, we would, but we cannot. So, but just know we love you, and that's all that matters. Absolutely.
So anyway, it is the Chris Hand Show, and I don't want to leave anybody waiting on the phone because it is Agenda-Free Friday. So Johnny B. going to the phones, and Larry in Shelbyville. Welcome to the Chris Hand Show. Glad to have you.
Thank you, Johnny B. I just really appreciate you guys and all you do. I wanted to make a simple comparison between Jill Biden and the way she treats her husband and Nancy Reagan and the way she treated her husband.
Oh, wow.
Kind of a different point there.
Yes.
So you guys do a great job. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Larry. And that's a great point because you're right. Nancy Reagan would not allow her husband to go out. In fact, she kept a real guard on him. And I heard stories. I remember this story that Phil Valentine told. It was his father, because his father was in Congress. He was a Democrat. And he was in during Reagan's term. And he said that every time they met, they would have a meeting, that Reagan would begin the festivities with a joke. And they'd have they'd have the beans. And they said he would tell a joke and then go into serious business. But he claimed his dad one time said at one of these meetings, Reagan told the same joke, repeated it. And they knew something was up. And that was toward the end of his presidency. And it's sad. It's sad to watch anyone go through that. We had a caller who called in and talking about a parent that he dealt with that had dementia. And I'm telling you, anybody that's gone through it with a family member, you recognize it. You know the look. Joe Biden has that look. And it's not funny. It's not, it's scary. Really. It's scary what we're watching. Because the Democrat Party, like I said, what that debate did for me, it showed me how much they lie. And what ends they'll go to try to keep the lie alive. I think they were honestly hoping they could get him through that debate, but it just didn't happen. What it basically did was show the American people that the Democrat Party will lie to your face and say everything's fine when it's not. And pretty much that's government anyway, isn't it? Let's go back to the phone, 615-737-9986. Bob in Spring Hill, glad to have you on board. Well, on the Chris Hand Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call. And in respect to Biden and the Biden family, certainly the most egregious president in my lifetime. I'm only 75 years old. However, we definitely want to pray for him. We want to pray for his family. We want to pray for his repentance and healing.
Right.
I want to share something. That's, and I'm a combat veteran, and
thank you.
And understand the tragedy of war, and I don't think people in this country understand how close we are to war due to the ineptitude of this administration because of greed, criminality, and power, insatiable desires for those things. Mm-hmm. But this was reported. It's been reported on the radio before, and this came from Pompeo when he was Secretary of State, when Trump was meeting with the Taliban leadership and telling them that I want to get out of Afghanistan. But it's going to be a measured metric withdrawal based on your activity and conduct in relation to your aggressiveness. And he told his interpreter, he said, tell him that if he harms one hair on an American's head, right, I will kill him. And the interpreter couldn't, he was really reluctant, and Trump told him, he says, you tell him that. He did, and Trump got up and took a very fine, detailed picture of the Taliban leader's home out from satellite imagery, right, handed it to him, and walked out of the room. That's the difference between Trump and Biden. That's also the difference between us who have served in the military, our sons, our daughters, our children, our precious family members who are serving in harm's way, to an idiot and an administration such as this, and the ineptitude of the Afghanistan drawout that made goat herders and primitive warriors the fourth standing army in the world.
I just wanted, and people need to hear that again and understand it.
Very true, Bob. Great points. And I love the story about Trump. I heard that yesterday. And thank you for your service, too, and appreciate you listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And all I can say to everything you said was right on, because it was. Let's go to Amy. She's in the borough. It's good to have you with us on Chris Hand's Show with Johnny B. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Johnny B. Good to hear your voice. I am actually going through with my father an identical situation to what our poor country is going through with President Biden.
Mm-hmm.
My father is 82. He has pretty advanced dementia. He's also a Democrat. Side note. Some of those exact same behaviors that I see in Biden, right down to the speech, just the cadence of his speech,
yes,
are identical to my father. And I was telling the guy who's screening the calls, I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
That's okay.
But I'm so sorry. But I was telling him we cannot physically trust our father. We have to hire people to come in and stay with him 24/7 because we literally can't trust that he can make it from the kitchen to the bathroom by himself.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And what a expense to our country that is having to be spent on trying to convince everybody that what we're seeing is not what's really going on. It's kind of like having a big giant pink elephant in the room, and that elephant is crashing down all of your furniture and eating your wall, and at the same time, everybody's having to pretend like that's not the case.
You got Karine Jean-Pierre there going, oh, it's not hurting anything.
Oh, gosh. It's delusional. And
it is.
Obviously, we've been living in some kind of delusion for a long time anyway, and we're just growing that. But, what is the fiscal cost of even having to put up this charade? That's taking time and energy away from our important matters.
Very true. Very true.
And that's troubling to me, even on that level. The fiscal tax on us just having to cover for this moron.
Exactly.
I don't know what the answer is, but just speaking from experience, having someone, at this same stage of dementia, I'm surprised he ever gets off the stage. I'm surprised they're not following him around, with a leash. He's so off the chain.
Oh, I know. And the thing is, and I appreciate the call, Amy, very much, and sorry about your father, but because we've lived through it too. My wife's mother, during the last years of her life, watching Joe Biden has been really hard for her, I know, and it's been hard for me because when I watch him, I think of her because when I look at him, I think that's the same look I've seen on her mother's face. And it's sad. It really, truly is. It is the Chris Hand Show. It's 1148, 615-737-9986. That, of course, is the Members Nutrition Super Text line, also the phone number. And, of course, Des Dickerson is coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I do everything from scrubbing cages to asking people for donations to answering the phones and helping facilitate getting animals to the rehab. I'm there on the weekends, up there taking care of animals with the team.
You got a great team there. It's a small team, but a great team that works together. And
I started about 20 years ago. My dear friend Carol Burgess founded Harmony in Fairview.
Okay.
And we decided to reopen it in West Nashville. And we are rocking along. Lots of animals. One of the primary calls that we get are, I found a bird, it's on the ground, what do I do? And in most situations, you should let it alone unless there's an imminent danger to that animal, because the parents are helping it and feeding it, and it just needs a couple of scary days on the ground until it gets back up into flight. What about bunnies, Melody? Can we give advice about bunnies?
The bunnies, they're just the sweetest, most innocent creatures, and we just see the worst things happen to them. Cats, dogs, lawnmowers, weed whackers.
In most cases, if the animals aren't injured, if you can put the rabbits back, that's always better to be with the mother rabbit than to come to us.
All the storms that have been coming through and just destroying nests, and a lot of babies will be found on the ground. Re-nesting is possible and preferable.
You play the video calls and you put the baby near where they found it, and the mama will actually come down and pick it up and then bring it back.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
Nice.
An Antioch toddler dies in a pool accident, a ruling on the release of documents in the Covenant school shooter case, and sad news in the case of a Nashville hit and run involving a restaurant owner here in Music City. Those stories coming up at noon on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11:52. Welcome back to the Chris Hand Show. Chris is on vacation. Johnny B sitting in for him. We're so happy you're here. 615-737-9986. That's the big number to get in touch with. You can talk to us, or you can also super text us, one of the two. Hi, man. Look who's joined me in the studio. Look here. Yeah. We'll be talking to you in a minute, dude. Let's talk to this. Hey, Pete, welcome to the Chris Hand Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's on your mind?
Well, I had a father that had dementia and then went into Alzheimer's, and I had a grandmother in the same situation. So, no, the condition of Biden is not funny.
Not at all.
It's sad. But the funny part is all the people that drink the blue Kool-Aid that go along and vote for him.
Oh, yeah.
That is what's funny, you know.
Well, that's not even funny to me. That's scary because what really bothers me is that as we've talked to, and I appreciate the call, Pete, but as I was talking to several people that have, had family members that suffered from this very thing that Joe Biden is, you can look in the face and tell. Anybody that's gone through it can tell. The man is nobody's home, and it's scary. And it's been that way for a while, but it seems as if everybody around him has tried to keep that from. They try to tell you, oh no, there's nothing wrong here. Look over here. Look over here. But that's been the popular thing in politics for the past couple of years, is they don't want you to see, oh, no, don't look over here. Look over here. Watch this over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined in studio right now by one of my heroes.
And my brother from another mother.
Yeah, there we go. And brother from another mother.
Headphone jack.
Oh, the headphone jack. What?
Well, you know what? I never needed headphones. The Beatles played Shea Stadium with no monitors. I don't need no stinking headphones.
Right. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, man. You doing all right?
I've been doing good.
Good.
Yesterday was my birthday.
Wow. Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah, man. See, me and America, we're like that.
That's so cool. That's so cool. You are the Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yes, I am.
And you look marvelous.
Thank you very much. So what's happening on the show today? You're sitting in for Murphy.
I'm sitting in for Murphy, and I'm going to do something that I normally don't do. I'm going to look to get people on the phone, as many people on the phone today as possible, and we're going to talk about a very specific 4th of July experience that everybody has either had or they know somebody who has. Now, that's the tease. I'm going to save it.
Oh, man, that's very good.
And then, hopefully at least, 3-4 people will call in. And then after that, I'll go back to being obnoxious and opinionated as usual.
Well, I love that. I love
Does the
that,
experience have anything to do with putting mayo on hot dogs?
Now, see, this is where I do need headphones.
Yes, because I do put mayo on hot dogs. But anyway, so that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be very cool. So what else has been going on in your life?
Man, just trying to have fun, keep it to a dull roar.
Thank you.
And, I'm trying to find as many ways to be creatively productive without ever using the words, back in my day.
This is how we used to do it.
Yeah, this is how we used to do it. Back when we had, vacuum tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
So, man, how about you? How have you been?
Well, it's been a crazy week. I mean, after that debate we watched,
man, I didn't watch it because I knew that it was just going to be a fiasco.
See, I didn't watch it either. I watched the highlights.
Yep.
But it was what I expected.
Yep.
And then what basically that told me was, all the Democrats did was basically show the American voter, we've been lying to you all this time.
That's right.
Oh, he is bad off.
Yeah, it is weekend at Biden's, and you were right all along.
Yes, it is. You were right. It wasn't a Republican conspiracy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But that was that. And what's so sad about that? And it is sad.
Yep.
Because the man is in decline.
Oh, yeah.
But what bothers me is that his own family, they're the ones pushing this mantra of, hey, man, he's okay. He's all right. Come on, Joe, you're all right.
Yeah, because he's the goose who lays the golden eggs.
Exactly.
And that's disgusting.
That is disgusting to me as well.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not that I'm a fan of Joe Biden, but he's a human being.
Absolutely. Nobody should be treated that way.
No.
Yeah.
But that's what they're doing. They're using him as a prop, basically.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, he's like a marionette without the string.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's like an AI marionette, right?
He's like a Herman Munster puppet without the voice box,
That's right.
Yeah. Gosh. It's a weird time. This is the strangest time, because I've been in talk radio quite a while now.
Yeah.
And this has been the strangest period I think I've ever experienced.
I'm sure it is.
In talk radio.
But you know what? I think it's about to get really a lot weirder.
I think it is too.
Which is almost unfathomable, but I think that's
it is. I can't believe we're getting that weird. But
yeah.
So did you ever think, back in the days when you were playing with Prince, that you would be sitting here talking about politics in Nashville, Tennessee?
Not in a million years. Now, I've always talked about politics, but I never thought it would be on radio. And do you remember, it was Uncle Phil that always used to say, you should think about doing talk radio.
Exactly.
I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, well, yeah, at some point I'll.
I remember when you called our show.
Yes.
I remember, and I said, he said, really? I said, yes, it's Des Dickerson.
And then it got to the point where I'd be in the car and somebody would text or call and say, hey, Phil's talking about you on the phone. You should just call in.
And he would.
Yes, I would. I would just call in right then and there.
Well, man, I never thought I'd get the opportunity to work with you. But I'm telling you, man, it's a God thing, and we love having you here.
Well, I love being here, and this is awesome. And like I said, my brother from another mother.
Right on.
And one of the only people that's been in this business as long as I am. So we have to stick together.
Yeah, we do. Hold me up, I'll hold you up.
That's right.
Well, Des is the next. He's in from Murphy today. And, of course, you'll have Cameron Smith in for the drive at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging in with me today. And keep it right where you've got it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Awesome.